This episode, I talk about companion planting for cold season vegetables in your garden. Hi everyone, I'm Brian Trafficanti from GardenMinutes.com, and this is episode 20 of Easy Growing. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about companion planting for cold season plants and some of the options you have to choose from. Now, if you're unfamiliar with companion planting, it's basically the process of neighboring plants that produce a mutually beneficial relationship. So, for instance, if one plant is very nitrogen dependent and another one produces a lot of nitrogen, they may go well next to each other. If one plant requires more shade from direct sunlight, another one likes to have a ton of sun, they may go well next to each other. So when you think about the fall, winter, spring, cold season or colder season gardening times a year, the types of plants that you can grow generally fall into more rustic and hardy variety. So you have things such as leafy greens, root vegetables, generally staying away from the fruiting vegetables, because fruiting vegetables generally do better in warmer weather. Alright, so the first plant we're going to discuss for our cold season companion planting are beets. Beets generally do well next to your leafy greens, onions, and bush beans. Now the next item are going to be your carrots. Carrots, they of course will do well next to your beets. They also do well next to onions and peas. Now one thing to kind of keep in mind though, as we go further into this, onions and peas generally don't go well together in terms of companion planting. So when you decide what you're going to plant next to your carrots, you're going to have to decide between the two. Alright, our next companion plant for cold season gardening is going to be spinach. Spinach, we already said, goes really well next to your beets and next to your carrots. But for spinach itself, some of the best companions for it are, believe it or not, the warmer season plants. Spinach can grow in your colder season, but can also grow into warmer seasons as well, as long as it doesn't get too hot. Next to spinach, you can plant things such as your celery, strawberry, eggplant. Those all tend to do very well, have a mutually beneficial relationship with growing spinach. Alright, and the last companion plant is something we've already covered a couple of times now as companions for our other plants, and that is onions. Onions, as we mentioned earlier, do really well with beets, carrots, leafy greens, but what you want to do is avoid planting them next to some other common plants. So onions don't do well next to peas, and they don't do well next to beans. So while some of those may be companions to the ones we listed earlier, make sure you keep them away from your peas and beans to have a better production. Alright, and that's it for Easy Growing episode 20. Thank you all so much for watching. Just a quick recap. Fall, winter, spring, even though they may be a cooler time of year, you can still grow a lot in your garden. Take advantage of plants that do well with the colder weather, and then also plant companions next to them to help them produce an even better yield. Every season has some kind of plant that can do well in it, as long as you're not extremely, extremely cold. And basically just take advantage of the time of year, take advantage of the plants that you can grow, and make the most of your garden. Alright, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day.